Hey, it's Kent from TransformYourGame.net here with Richard Wyatt at the Pro Play Tour Championship 2020 here in Orlando, Florida. Richard just came in, tied for third place. Richard, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your community back home?
Sure. Well, I'm out of Austin, Texas, so I did have to fly here, but that wasn't much of a problem. The flights to Orlando are pretty cheap. It's a popular destination. And my community back home, I think I mentioned them in like other interviews and articles before. Not a particularly large one at the moment. Something we're still trying to do is grow it. But I've got a really dedicated couple of people that come out and, will test for hours and hours, help me slog it out, figure out the kind of things we want to play. But yeah.
So what did you decide to play at this event, and was there any particular reason why?
Well, I played Jetfire, Captain Jetfire from Wave 4. I'm a little bit associated with the character at this point, given that I've just taken it to everything. I wanted to play something else, I promise. I really did try to play other decks, and I just didn't feel as comfortable with them or their matchup. I did end up putting Thrust as the sideboard, or as the partner character to Jetfire in the main board, even though that is something I was a little bit against and kind of resigned to do. But yeah.
Cool. Any MVP cards, standout cards over the weekend?
Yeah, so I had one that was a really good one for me main board, which is War of Attrition. So War of Attrition isn't historically a card I've played main board in Jetfire. I've kind of felt like it was a little bit win more. But with Thrust being the partner for Jetfire here, one of the things that was really good at helping me do is helping me kind of get to the same end state that Aimless used to when I was playing that as my main board partner, which is that at a certain point you just need to close the door on your opponent, whether it means like you just need to have them have less pierce or less time, and War of Attrition with the healing effect of it, and the fact that you can always pick it up because of Jetfire's just, absolute plethora of cards he allows you to have in your hand, meant that I was able to just kind of bury my opponent once they were behind, or at least when we were at parity, I was able to surge ahead.
Were there any matchups that you were hoping to dodge?
Yeah, I really didn't want to play against Sergeant Springer, the combo version with Daring Escape. I don't think it's an unwinnable matchup by any means. I know one of my good friends who's playing the same deck as me was able to take down that matchup during the Swiss, although he had some slight differences from my own. I know one of them was Leap into Battle, which is a card I forgot to mention in the last question, but it was a really, really big piece of my sideboard game plan, and let me kind of lean more into the thrust racing aspect of things should I play against like a pseudo mirror from Galaxy Prime or other Jetfires.
Did you catch the bug, and do you have any other plans to play other big events in the future for 2020?
Okay, well, I plan to play everything that I can get a possible time off for work and plane tickets to. I love competition at high levels. This was one of the coolest tournaments because I got to play against so many talented players. I got to play against Stefan twice. My first round was against Landis, Effector Sigma. Sorry, Scott. I don't know why I said Landis. I basically faced like a gauntlet. I played one of the guys I came with who had a really good deck against me, and I was able to just squeak out a win against him. So the visceral thrill of having high-level competition is something that's going to bring me back again and again. I know that I'm going to do PAX Unplugged, probably Gen Con, and then I'm going to try to do Transform Your Game, Your Nets, the Player of the Year event next year. It sounds like something I'm really interested in doing, and hopefully I have a pretty good leg up from this weekend.
Cool. What is one thing you'd like to see happen in the coming year for organized play for Transformers?
That's actually a pretty easy question. I've actually already thought about that quite a bit. I think one of the key things I'd love to see come out of the next year, if not this coming year, then the year after, is an annual schedule, like a full year schedule for what types of large conventions are going to host competitive level tournaments, because then I think we could get so many more people out, and that would be one of those feedback loops, right? Like it's a cycle of reinforcement. If we have a schedule that allows a lot of people to plan to go, a lot of people go, and there's more reason to put money into more events and have them solidified and be on another schedule. So if a first step could be publishing something like an annual schedule, it would be a huge step forward for the game at large.
Awesome. Hey, you have any shout-outs for people back home, teammates, anything else?
Yeah, shout out to my specific teammates, Brandon and Drew. Those guys always test with me. Nate for being in the same group chat as us and stomaching all of our talk about Transformers. I like to shout out the Texas guys, particularly the Dallas guys who've helped me test more, Kai and Kent. You guys were both really instrumental in me kind of coming up with the different iterations and evolutions of my list. And then, as always, my girlfriend for letting me travel and do fun events like this, because it's really nice for me, and I know that occasionally time can be an issue. So.
Very cool. Thank you, Richard, and congrats again on your third place finish.
Thanks so much, Ken. Appreciate it.